And we're back. Am I going live? Yes. We're there. We're back in. So hi guys, let me just make sure that the light is on. All good. Fantastic. Looks like we're back in. Amazing. Marie, just like magic. Back again. So welcome. We're going to start in just a minute with iMoveFreely Cardio Week 1. I'm going to take you through around about 12 weeks of gradually starting to build up your cardiovascular system. So we're coming back to some of the moves and the style that I did several weeks ago back in the early lockdown. What I'd like you to do first of all is make sure you've got a space, some trainers, a chair, and a drink nearby. So this is perfect, by the way, for beginners. However, just a little disclaimer for anybody who's never been before to this particular session. If you have any pain, discomfort, medical conditions, might be pregnant, or anything going on, please consult your local therapist or GP prior to taking on any new exercise. It's your responsibility to be your own coach with the Her Spirit Coach guidance as we move through all of these sessions. But for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to get you a little bit dynamic. We're going to use our iMoveFreely flows. And so whether you're brand new or whether you've been coming for a while, we're going to go through some releases on the chair, and then we're going to get more dynamic as we go through the session. So we're going to lift the heart rate and let it drop. So whatever your level, you can take your time a little bit. We've got several blocks. We're going to start with the pelvis, then go into the spine, and then the shoulders. So you will feel the benefit in each area of the body. And so if you've got a decent chair, just far enough away, because we're going to go back and forth between the chair and then to the open floor. So if you're ready, I'm going to begin. I'm just going to check in. Yeah, we're good. So we're going to start on the chair. We're going to start with our 4 sign. And what I'd like you to do is just cross one ankle over the other. Let your hip relax. Place the hand on the top of the knee. And what you're going to do is rotate your leg into your hand with 20% effort. So my hand is just going to block the movement. So it becomes a static contraction. And we're trying to generate energy within the muscles that rotate the hip on this side. 20% effort is usually the hard thing when you're first trying these techniques. So it's trying to concentrate on a very low level amount of effort. And once we've done 20 seconds, which is right about now, we take it down and we go to the other side. Again, just relax first. Your hand is the block, and we're going to rotate without moving. So we're going to imagine rotating. The hand is the block. So just let everything relax. Think about that 20%. So if you imagine as hard as you can, halved and halved again, very low level. And so as I'm pressing my leg into my hand, the hand is blocking it. It's just generating a little bit of energy within that muscle. And once we've done one of these on either side, we're going to go a little bit dynamic for around about 30 seconds. So it's not too much. So when you come up, I just want you to step side to side, and you can bend. Now, if you wanted to, you could go and you could put on some of your own music, just to have your favourite song on in the background, or you can leave it nice and quiet, or maybe open the windows, listen to the birds. So we've got another 15 seconds. So over the session, I'm going to gradually lift your heart rate a little bit, but just to begin with, we're going to warm up the joints. So about 5 more seconds, and then we're going to do that again. All right? And again, we're going to use the arms more later on as well. Okay, and stop there. Back to the seat, and we repeat. So just let that hip relax. So the purpose, hand on the knee, of that low-level energy technique is to allow those muscles in that hip to just relax and free off, so that when we do the movement, we get an improvement in our function around the hip area. So this technique has been proven to be fantastic to get your hips moving more freely. Okay, so we do one side, we come to the other side, just let it relax to begin with, hand on the knee. And so what I'm going to talk to you about is something we call the rate of perceived exertion, or RPE. So we're going to use a scale of 0 to 10, and 0 is being fast asleep, and 10 is working as hard as you can. So right here, we're probably around about a 1 or a 2. Yeah, so we're just warming up, and you might want to go slower, or you might want to go bigger. I'm going to gradually take you through moves where we are going to make them a little bit bigger, but again, you've got the choice. You've got about another 20 seconds, and you can just let the arms swing, or if you want to, the old school aerobics style is forwards and back. We're going to start to make the moves a little bit bigger as we go through. So we've got about 10 more seconds. And the idea to begin, as I've said, is just getting the joints going, getting the joints moving. You've been sitting all day or homeschooling. We just want to get into the mood, into the zone. So again, just relax. Let that knee drop. Hand on the inside of the knee. Take a breath. And the purpose again is to allow the heart rate to drop back down. So we want to fluctuate the heart rate through the flows, and it will be consistent throughout this whole 45 minutes, so that you're always letting the heart rate drop back down. But you're going to choose how high you take the number. Take it down and bring it up the other side. So if there's anybody out there who's maybe a bit fitter or feeling a bit more energetic, then you could just up the ante, make the moves a little bit bigger. But I'm going to aim this towards those of you who are maybe new to movement and exercise, or you want to learn how to move better, and then gradually take your time to build your confidence towards a stronger heart and cardiovascular system. How's that sound? So this is our third round. You ready again? So come on up. So we've got 30 seconds. And what you can see is I'm going slightly wider and a little bit quicker, and using the arms as well. So you can bend the knees a little bit, you take the feet wider, or if you want to stick with something that's a little bit slower, that's fine. Starting with our smallest ranges just in this round, in this set, or flow if you like. 7 more seconds. I've got my little stopwatch just to make sure I don't go over. Alright, so last round. If I go under, you're okay with that, are you? Okay. Relax. Cross it over. And just have a think about where your RPE is right now. Mine's definitely gone up. Starting to feel a bit more ready for the exercise. So we're doing the 4 sign. Legs in the shape of the number 4. So I know some of you out there may have done this one before. For those who haven't, we take it down, we switch. And the whole point of iMoveFreely is just to improve movement. So where you might feel your heart rate lift on this as we go through the cardio version, there are other variations to iMoveFreely, but the purpose is to improve movement. Not necessarily to be the high end of the sweaty scale. We may get a little sweaty in this weather, although it's a bit cooler just now. All right, you ready? Let's go 30 seconds. All right. So again, you can bend. So I'm going to bend a little bit more. And the bend really is just to use the knee, hip and ankle joints through a little bit more range when we get into the bigger movements. Coming up next. We've got about another 10 seconds. And then we're going to do our next series of flow. 3 seconds. Fabulous. Okay, and stop there. So back to the seat. So our next one is for the hip flexors. So we're going to use the same technique. So I'm going to get you to go side on. And what we're going to do is you're going to flex your hip, but you're going to press your thigh into the foot at the front. So you're resisting 20% effort, this hip flexor or this leg, pressing the thigh into the front foot. So that front foot is like your resistance or your block, like the hand was on the 4 side. 20% effort. I have to think about this one because I usually go a little bit too hard because I sit at a desk quite a bit, so I feel it in the hips. and then we just turn and we do the same on this side. Now if you don't like this one, you can literally put your hand on top of your knee, lift the thigh, or go as if you're going to lift the thigh and you use your hand. But this one's quite good because it opens the hip first. So we're going to release the front of the hips, and the way iMoveFreely works is we're now going to work the back of the hips. So we're going to do what we call a curl. So the same step, but I want you to kick your bum basically. And the idea with this is keep the hips open, and as you kick, you're opening the hip. And again, if you've got like tension down the front of the legs, you might feel this one. So we've got another 15 seconds. You can use your aerobic arms if you like. Or you can just let the arms swing and kick up to the butt. So it's using more range across the knee, certainly. But we take a seat, and we turn, and we come back to allowing the heart rate to drop. So we might be starting to reach using the bigger moves, kicking up to the bottom. We might be starting to get to an RPE of 3 or 4, and that's fine. And you don't actually need to go above that at all through this session if you're not ready for that. If you've gone higher, that's also okay. As long as you feel comfortable or you're within your own limits. And that's where being your own coach, taking the guidance from all the Her Spirit coaches in here, but understanding yourself, your own body, and asking the question if you need to find out more. Okay, just release this one. I need this one today. Whew. So you can hear my heart rate's gone up. You can hear I was breathing a bit heavier, but it's come back down again, which is great, because we can do that again. So back in, step and curl. And I'm going to bend and curl. So we bend on the way down, curl on the way up. And I've got my 80s style aerobic arms. And again, you're trying to kick up. So we're really working the back of the hamstring or the back of the leg as you kick back up. Another 15 seconds. And again, you can get that dip and kick. And again, if you want to slow it down and just feel that movement first, then that's fine. But you can hear my heart rate's going up now. Maybe a 4, maybe a 5. Depends on where you are. 3 seconds. Going over. That's how I sit. Whew. Okay. Okay, you ready again? So hip flexor release. So side on or hip flexor brace. So we brace against that front heel. And again, hopefully you can get to this position okay. But if not, just sort of bringing your thigh and your hand together in exactly the same way is fine. And just let my heart rate come back down. Have a think about your number on your RPE. Do you feel that kind of rise and fall? If you do, fantastic. Just change sides. Thigh to heel. I quite like this one. I feel like it's we're in a pose. The dancer in me. The old chair routine. So, oh dear. Okay, you ready? So back up, step and curl, and you can bend, or if you want, you could slow it down, get the kick, and focus on that move at the back, and see if you can get that feeling of getting your heel actually on your butt. And that gives you good range through the front of the thighs, up through the knees. How long we got? 8 seconds. And then we're going to do this one more round again before we do the last one on the hips. 3 seconds. Okay, and recover. Back down. How are we doing out there? All right, one more round on the hip flexor brace. So again, just to the edge of your seat. Brace the thigh against the heel of the front foot. Take a couple of breaths. Whew. That definitely took my heart rate up. And because I'm talking, that's going to use more oxygen, so it's going to make my heart rate come up even more. And so if you're singing, if you've got your music on, things like that can actually increase the amount of oxygen your body's needing, makes the heart work harder. And also what we're going to do in the shoulder series towards the end on this SAT class is start to use the arms, and taking the arms overhead means that the heart has to pump the oxygen up, so it makes it work harder. So you can just work harder using the arms. You don't have to use huge amounts of impact to get the heart rate working. Okay, you ready for another butt kicking? Can I say that? I just did. Okay, all right. So when you come down, get the heel down rather than doing it on the toes. So really give it a good butt kick. Now we're just keeping the arms around about chest height at the minute, or straight forwards, or if you want to swing them, I don't mind. That's where you get the opportunity to freestyle a little bit, because I can't see you. So you can do your own version. 6 more seconds. Oh, okay. 3 more. And breathe. Okay. So you've probably felt your RPE go to the higher sort of ranges on that last set, and that's okay. Always remember to be your own coach. You don't have to do exactly as I did. If it doesn't feel quite right for you, if you want to do it lower or slower or not use the arms, then just leave them out. Okay, so we're into our third hip release cardio series. So we're going to lift the leg, lace the fingers underneath, and then from here, and I usually like to kind of bolster almost, so I'm using my other arm here and the hand over the top. Just let the leg relax, let the knee relax, go floppy, and then you're going to push it down with your hip with, trying to gauge 20% after the weight of your leg goes into your arm. So let the weight of the leg go and then press down, 20% effort. So just try and think for a minute, maybe close your eyes and just think about your hip extensor muscles. Are they at 20%? And then go to the other side and press down, 20% effort. So these are releasing the back of the hip. So Marie, these ones are good for you, and Holly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to work at the front of the hip. So this sort of dynamic section, check the timing, is going to be knees. So we're lifting the knee towards the hands. If you're here, this is fine. But I want you to try and see if you can get your knees at least above your hip. Have a go, see if you can, and just lift. We've got about another 20 seconds. And we're just lifting towards the hands, around about waist height, if you can at least. And this is putting strength into the front of the hips as you have to lift the weight of your leg towards your hand. 5 seconds. And again, we're being more, using more ranges, being more dynamic. Fantastic. Let's take a seat and repeat. So before you do anything, relax and then press. So if you don't like this position, you can lace the fingers, do it from here and then press down. I just find that this one kind of almost, my biceps get achy. I've not got strong biceps, but if I can anchor it underneath through my arm, I feel more solid there. If you don't like it, you can certainly come to here. And then we change sides. And again, press down. So any of these techniques, if you want to see variations of them, you can go into the body section, have a look back at some other videos. We do these lying down as well, and we blend them with strength moves, not just cardio moves. So you can go and see different versions. If this is your first time for iMoveFreely, have a look around the other videos and you'll find a lot of variations. You ready for those knees again? So, we got 30 seconds. All right. So I'm just taking the knees slightly wider, just to use a different angle through the hip. And if you want to stay at the front, that's fine. But I just want to change the angle just to see how that feels. We've released the hip extensors, so we want to work the hip flexors, but the hips really should move in a variety of ways rather than just through a single direction. So if you can, just try them a little wider. I've lost count. I think we've got 5 seconds. Oh, okay, I always do that. And stop there. All right, we've got 2 more rounds. So take a seat. Bring that leg up. Relax and then press. So how's that RPE going? I just want to have a think for a moment about your heart rate and where it is on your 0 to 10 scale. 0 being asleep, 10 working as hard as you can, really, really intensely. You should be 5 or below-ish, maybe around the 2 or 3 or 1. All of those are fine. Take it down, leg under. And then if you want to go into the higher zones, we're going to build up towards that through these iMoveFreely sessions, or you can go and check out Michelle's cycling sessions and maybe just have a look where she can guide you on various heart rate zone training. Okay, you ready? Gonna wait till it hits the bottom. Okay. All right. And then, again, I'm going even wider. Now, if you don't want to go this wide, you can stay with that kind of front angle or even to the front and just, I'm going to mix between them. So it's kind of almost a little bit like combat. I think Mel did some combat stuff in one of hers previously. And then you can come to the front. As long as you're working those hip flexors, you've got 5 seconds, guys. And breathe. Good, you all right? Ready for one more round, guys. Take a seat. Bring that leg up. Release the back of the hips. So these releases are great for even the areas above and below them. So your hamstrings, your lower back, as all the body is interlinked. So even though we're using the bum muscles, the glutes, the hip extensors, they do attach down into the hamstrings. They go up towards the back into other muscles and structures. So this is a great back line release technique. Release it, let it go, and press. Also a good one for taking tension off the nervous system, which travels down the back side of the hip. And so if you do sit a lot, these are great. And actually you could do these throughout the day at your desk, couldn't you? So good ones to add in. Right, 3 seconds and counting. You ready? Last round of knees. So pick it up. See if you can get that knee a little bit higher, maybe just a little quicker. And you can vary front, corner, side, corner, front. You got 15 seconds. And you vary in between each of those moves. You got 6 seconds, guys. Pick it up. Woo. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good. How's your RPE? So your rate of perceived exertion, again, should be around the 3, 4, 5, maybe something like that. Depends on your fitness level. I think it's time for a drink. So I'd just like you to go and find your water bottle or your juice. Just grab a quick drink. Particularly if you find that you sweat quite a bit. All my sweating happens when I've finished. So I usually don't sweat a lot during, but then at the end when I stop, it starts to come. But I know for everybody it's slightly different, but the more you sweat out, just remember to replace that. And if you sweat a huge amount, remember it's not just water you're sweating out, so maybe some energy drinks or something, a bit of salt, bit of sugar. All right, so we're now coming to the spine. And so a slightly different technique this time. So where we use the 20% muscle energy technique, we're going to use the wall to do some glides. So we're going to stand side onto the wall, and this arm is going to be bent to 90 degrees. I'm going to place the outer arm against the wall, and then my ribs against the inner arm. So everything's kind of all pressed against the wall. And then once there and in position, I'm going to glide the hips slowly, only a tiny range, underneath the elbow that's on the wall, but only a couple of inches and around about 8 repetitions. Just a slow gliding And that can help those lower back muscles where we've released the hips. This is coming into the backs. And then we turn around and we do the same on the other side. So again, bend the elbow, feet slightly further away, feet together, legs straight. And then from there, once you are fixed, and then glide. So I'm just putting my hand there just to show you how the ribs are staying still and the hips are gliding under the ribs. So I'm not taking my body away, I'm literally just gliding the hips under the elbow. So I use the hip bone and the elbow bone as the guide. Guide for glide. All right, so we're going to do the inchworm. So if you'd like to watch this first of all. So the way we do this is we come down, walk the hands out, and then we walk back and stand up. You could fold with straight legs and walk out, and this is going to depend on your range and your movement. Or you can take the feet slightly wider. You could bend the knees and you could walk out and then walk back to that squat. So we're going to do 2 more to hit our 30 seconds. Brace super hard and then come back up. And it's that getting up and down from the floor using pretty much every muscle in the body. Stop there. Woo, we'll lift the heart rate. You okay? And then we're going to do that again. So gliding against the wall, so up nice and tall, fix the ribs, slow gliding. And so this spine section is to release the spine, predominantly little muscles in the back, and then our inchworm strengthens and loads the front with a bit of movement as we get in and out of that position. So 8 glides on the right, and we turn around. And we do 8 glides on the left. How are we doing? Now this is often people's favourite. If you do feel tender on this one, either reduce the range or stop and listen and watch. Sometimes people feel tenderness on one side and not the other. Just stop before you get to that tender point. So it's about movement rather than, we don't want to be sort of getting into tender bits. Right, you ready? 30 seconds of inchworm. So again, you can bend, walk out. Now the wider foot position is going to help you feel more stable. Narrow is going to be harder because you're on a narrow base of support. That's going to be more challenging. So I'd probably recommend you go a little bit wider. And again, depending on the flexibility around your hips and your hamstrings, you can either start with a squat now, or you can go down with straight legs. You've got about 10 seconds, guys. We're going to do 1 more. Brace super hard, shoulders switched on, and then recover. Let's go again. Feet together, lean against the wall, slow glide. So make sure you're fixed. It's like you've got a newspaper or a £50 note underneath your arm, and then you just gliding. So you really lean into that wall. You can bring the feet further in if it's tender. I wouldn't go much further away than about an elbow measurement. And then we'll turn around and do the same on the other side. And again, fix those ribs and then glide. Allowing the heart rate to drop, remember. A couple more. And then we're going to inchworm. So on the inchworm this time, I want you to really focus on your shoulders being nice and solid. So we've got 30 seconds. So as we come down, shoulders fixed. So what we try not to do is let them kind of move around too much. I want you to feel solid every time you walk the hands out. Brace through the abdominals. And so make sure as you walk out that you're not sagging at the bottom. I'd rather you stayed slightly high and then walk back. And then again, so a couple more. And really brace through the front of the body. And then recover. 1 more round for the spine. So feet together, guys. Lean. And glide. So this middle one, this spine one, will probably feel slightly easier potentially for some of you than the hip section of cardiovascular moves. And again, it's just about that ebb and flow to allow people to get used to raising the pulse, using the body in different ways, loading it in a way that is evidence-based for strengthening and stabilising your joints, and systematically working through the hips, spine, and maybe shoulders next. So this is our last spine flow. Right, you ready for those inchworms? 30 seconds. All right, so brace super hard, and you could, if you wanted to work a little harder, move a little bit quicker now that you know the movement, and that might raise the heart rate a little bit more. How long we got? 2 more, 10 seconds. Can I get 3 more in? Oh no! 1 more. And back. Whew. Okay. I think it's time for another drink. So grab a drink. Excuse me. How are you feeling? So we're now going to come into, we've got 2 shoulder flows. So you can do this standing. If you want to do it sitting, you can. But I'm going to do this standing to do it more dynamic and face on, so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to release a little muscle across the back of the shoulder here, that when we are in that forward kind of round shoulder posture, it kind of gets tired from the weight of the arms forward. So you're going to bring the right arm, or one arm in front, I don't know which is your right or left as you look at me, and we're going to put the hand over the top. This hand is the block. This hand is going to try to rotate into this hand with that 20% muscle energy effort. We hold it there for 20 seconds. So we're going to do 1 on either side, and we're going to be dynamic. We're going to use our legs and our arms. We'll see what happens to the heart rate. The heart rate is probably going to go up a little bit more than it has so far through this session. All right, let's swap. So this hand in front, this hand's the block, rotate, using 20% effort from the muscle that rotates the arm, and hold. And then what I'm going to get you to do is what's called a V step. So just start with a march, then you're going to step forwards and step back. But you're going to be wide at the front, narrow at the back, hence V step. So down and back, we're going to do another 20 seconds. And as you do this, you're going to push the arms in front and back. So we work the front of the shoulder, having released around the back. And again. So we're starting with that leg. We'll start with the other leg on the next round. 1 more. And recover. Take the arm in front. Hand over the top. Rotate. Let the heart rate drop. So now that you know the V-step movement, we're going to gradually start to layer in just a little bit more range on the arms. So we're pushing them forwards. We'll add that in. So this is releasing the muscles around the back of the shoulder. Rotate. 20% effort, hold. Let the neck go, let the neck relax. But this time we're going to start with the other foot, so we're going to alternate. You're going to have a lead leg. So, okay. So this time, step with the other leg, forwards and back. And you reach the arms forwards. If you don't like the arms, you can leave them out. And maybe go down at the front, up at the back. Down at the front, up at the back. We've got 20 seconds. And we can start to lift the arms just to encourage range around the shoulder. After that release, you've got 15 seconds here. And if you go bigger or faster, you hear my heart rate's going up, so you can hear me breathing harder. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and recover. So they're calm again. So hand over the top, resist rotation, Let the heart rate come back down. It's definitely a little bit warmer. But again, think about your RPE, or your rate of effort, your rate of perceived exertion. You could add a naught on the end to make it into percentages if you like percentages. Let that go. Change sides. So if you're around about 30% of your maximum effort for your heart rate, 40%, should be dropping down now anyway from wherever it was. So letting the heart rate fall again. Get that nice, ebb and flow, which is sometimes easier for people to come into rather than something that just gets the heart rate straight up. All right, you ready? Lead leg, V-step and back. Push and back. And again, you can lift the arms. So you've got 25 seconds. Sit. So the fact we're using all the muscles in the body means that the heart has got to work harder to pump the blood around to make the muscles work and allow us to perform the movement. And that's really good for your circulation, the heart, really working the heart as well, blood flow, getting oxygen everywhere. Keep going. 10 more seconds. And it also releases a fantastic chemical hormone to give us that endorphin rush, or that feeling of feeling good. How are we doing? You ready for one more round? All right. Shoulders back, hand in front, hand over. Bringing the heart rate down. And so what we're doing here is we're conditioning our metabolic system. We're really getting that energy system working and then coming back down. So it becomes very efficient at helping your body move blood and oxygen around your system. Bring the heart rate up and back down. It's a really good way to train your fitness. Change sides. So that if you want to run up the stairs or run and catch a bus or try a 5K or go for a swim in a lake when we can, then you can know confidently that you've trained your system to be ready for that. Left leg lead or other leg lead, whichever one you're on, other leg. All right, 30 seconds. So lift the arms, big reach, drop down. So you could go quicker if you want. If you don't want to, stick with that slower version. Or if you've got your music on, you could do it to the beats of the music. So big reach. Good, 20 seconds. Actually, I think it's 10. Nearly got you doing more. How are we doing? Are we waving or shaking a fist? All right, and recover. How are we doing out there? Would you like to do one more shoulder flow? Of course you would. Grab a drink first, guys. You're doing great. So we're going to do one more shoulder flow. Let's get my hair out of the way. And then we're going to cool it down a little bit. Okay. So again, same idea, 20%. This time we're going to use the shoulder pushing forwards into the hand. The hand is the block. Push. 20% effort. Let the heart rate come down. Hold. Let this arm relax. And this is a great one for letting the chest open. Held for around 20 seconds. And then we do the other side. So I'm just turning so you can see on each side what I'm doing. So I'm pushing using the effort from my shoulder muscles at the front of the body. And then my other hand is blocking that movement. So it's our last 4 flows, 4 rounds to raise the heart rate. You ready? So you're going to tap out. We're going to reach up, arms coming out to the side, tapping out. Good. And again, you can sort of dip down, or you can stay tall. Or if you want to keep it on a lower level, then you don't lift the arms so high. You've got about 10 seconds left. So make wise choices based on your body. So push yourself sensibly and then ease it back. Good. Change the other side. Shoulder back, hand on the front. And so low-level cardiovascular training is still beneficial even for high-end athletes. So some of my clients are high-end athletes, and to have a really good, efficient cardiovascular system, metabolic profile, we really should train the heart rate at different levels on a regular basis. So there is a myth that to get fit you have to always train the heart rate very high, and that is incorrect. We need to have a balance of this kind of level of cardiovascular training, so RPE 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, and then the higher levels peppered in to your week as well. So it is about using different levels. So here, this might be quite intense for some, might be quite easy for others, and again, you can use whatever is right. If you're feeling low on energy, then stick with the low version. If you're feeling energetic, like me, you can reach the arms up, you've got 10 more seconds. But it is about listening to your body and thinking about, have you trained all of your zones? And recover. 2 more rounds. Okay, ready? Press and hold. So we really want to take advantage of both of our energy systems. We're in our fat burn system in the lower level, and then you have your sugar burn system in the higher heart rate zones, and anything in between. So we want to use all of them. And your RP is as good as you'll get without using sort of heart rate gadgets. If you've got a heart rate monitor, fantastic. So you can calculate your heart rate zones and you can work those out with your age, and then testing your heart rate using your RPE. And over time, if you monitor it for a while, you start to get used to where your zones are. But it is dynamic. So even on one session can change your metabolic system. Yep, it's that quick to change. 30 seconds. And that's in either direction. So having a period of time where you work really hard, you can feel fitter very quickly, or having a period of time where you do nothing, you can feel you've lost that cardiovascular fitness quite quickly as well. So it's cardiovascular fitness goes up and down in a very short space of time. 5 seconds. And again. 2, 1. Last round, guys. Just a gentle press. Remember, only 20%. Sometimes when you've had the heart rate up, kind of get there and you get a bit, going a bit hard. So just again, bring it back to that 20%. So strength training takes longer to gain, or strength gains, but also take longer to lose. Cardiovascular, quicker to gain, quicker to lose. Which is why it's really good to think about these kind of low level sessions in between, even if you are more athletic, in between some of your high end sessions. The beauty of it is we can all do it together. Okay, you ready? 30 seconds. Last round. So this could be your biggest round. So you can reach really high, you can tap the foot really low, or you can stick with your level. But go, you've got 20 seconds, and then we're coming down. Big reach. Woo! 10 seconds, guys. We got this. Come on, together. We have got this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Were you shouting at your device? Well done. All right, listen. So I'd just like you to just let the heart rate come down. Just start to kind of move side to side. Just bend the knee. Just let the arms waft and hang. Going side to side. So hopefully you feel like you're moving a little bit more freely from all those release techniques, the glides, the muscle energy techniques, shoulders, hips, knees. But also you should get a little bit of an endorphin hit from that cardiovascular training as well. Good. All right, step it up. Just a heel dig. And then a turn through the shoulders. doing a little dance routine here. Good. And then just a little turn through the body. Take your time. Have a little look over the shoulder. Alright, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Move the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. Big reach. Hands come down. Well done. Okay, so week 1, iMoveFreely cardio. I have a 12-week progressive program. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, my name is Rachel France, her spirit coach, Rach Fit. So you can ask me any questions you like. You can post in here, tell all your girlfriends. You can private message me. But remember, next week we're going to begin at 6:15 with a live Q&A. So we have great questions tonight. So if you want to join in and ask any questions, then check in early, 6:15. 6:15. Did I say 5? 6:15 till 6:30. Next Monday, live Q&A. And then from 6:30 to 7:15. Did I say that all right this time? We'll be doing iMoveFreely cardio, kind of more of the same, but I'm going to gradually over the weeks, first 4-week block is just cementing the moves, starting to build that base layer till our second and third blocks where we're going to move a little bit more. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for coming. Go and check this out. We're going to send this, put it up to the live recorded section. Go and have a look at some of the other iMoveFreely sessions. Let me know what you think, but more importantly, tell all your girlfriends. Together we got this. Oh, thanks guys. Lisa, you're welcome. Mel, Holly, Marie, good to see you guys, and anybody else out there. See you next time.